A very good morning to dear children. I wish you a happy and healthy new year. Children, freedom fighters were people who sacrificed their lives selflessly for the freedom of their country. People look up to them in terms of patriotism and love for one's country. Children, in history, till now we have learned about the struggle of Indian freedom fighters for independence of our country. In today's chapter, that is chapter 9, last phase of struggle for independence, we are going to study the Quit India movement, underground movement, and the contribution of Indian National Army. Children, the freedom fighters have made people aware of their rights and their power. It is all because of the freedom fighters that we prospered into a free country, free from any kind of colonizers or injustice. Let us know about the Act of 1935. This Act made a provision for the British governed Indian provinces and princely states to form a federation. According to this Act, the working of British governed provinces will be handed over to the Indian representatives. If the princely states join the federation, then they would lose their autonomy. Hence, they refused to join. Therefore, the proposal of federal state in the Act was not brought into practice. Let us talk about the provincial cabinets. In 1937, elections were held in 11 provinces in the country. Among these, Indian National Congress gained majority over 8 provinces and came to power. The cabinet ministers of Indian National Congress did useful work for the people, such as release of political prisoners from jail, introduction of basic education, prohibition of liquor, measures undertaken to improve condition of the Dalits, passing of Act giving debt relief to the farmers, etc. Next is Cripps Mission. The British realized that if Japan attacks India, then they will need cooperation from the Indians. Hence, the British Prime Minister Winston Churchill sent Sir Stafford Cripps to India. In March 1942, he put up a proposal of India in front of the Indians. But none of the political party was satisfied with this proposal. The Indian National Congress rejected the proposal since there was no clear mention of complete independence. Since there was no mention of creation of Pakistan, the Muslim League also rejected the Cripps Mission. Second World War and Indian National Congress. The Second World War began in Europe in 1939. The then Viceroy Lord Linlithgow declared that India has joined the war on the side of the British. England claimed that it is fighting to save democracy in Europe. The Indian National Congress demanded that if the claim was true, then England should immediately grant freedom to India. England refused to fulfill this demand, and therefore the provincial ministers of Indian National Congress resigned in November 1939. Quit India movement. After the Cripps mission, the Indian National Congress decided to start an intense movement for attaining independence. The Working Committee of the Congress passed a resolution on 14th July 1942 at Wardha. The resolution demanded that the British rule in India be ended immediately and India should be given independence. If this demand was not fulfilled, then the Indian National Congress warned to start a non-violent movement for freedom of India. Quit India Resolution. On 7th August 1942, the session of Indian National Congress was held at Gavalia Tank, that is Kranti Maidan in Mumbai. Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad was the president of this session. The British should leave India. This resolution passed by Congress Working Committee at Wardha was to be finally approved in the Mumbai session. On 8th August, the resolution of Quit India put forth by Jawaharlal Nehru got passed with great majority. Gandhiji said, "Every one of you should, from this moment onwards, consider yourself a free man or woman and behave like a citizen of free India. We shall either free India or die in the attempt." Gandhiji made an inspirational appeal to the public to be ready to sacrifice with the feeling of do or die. Beginning of People's Movement. The news of arrest of important leaders of Indian National Congress spread out all over the country. The angry mob took out processions at various places. Even though police lathi charged and opened firing on the public, but still people were not afraid. They only wanted freedom. They wanted independence. The agitators attacked some places, jails, police stations, railway stations, etc., which symbolized the suppressive policy of the British. They tried to take control of government offices. In Maharashtra, the young and old struggled with determination and boundless courage at places like Chimur, Ashti, Yavli, Mahad, Gargoti, etc., and made the struggle immortal. The underground movement. At the end of 1942, the public movement got a new term. The leadership of this movement went into hands of young socialist activists. The activists disrupted the transport and communication as well as the government machinery by causing the breakdown of railway routes, cutting off telephone line, blowing up bridges, etc. The leadership of this movement went into hands of Jayaprakash Narayan, Dr. Ram Manohar Lohia, Chotu Bhai Puranik, Achutrao Patwardhan, Aruna Asaf Ali, Yusuf Meher Ali, Sucheta Kriplani, S.M. Joshi, Shirubhau Limay, N.G. Gore, Yashwantrao Chavan, Vasant Dada Patil, Maganlal Bagdi, Usha Mehta, such leaders were in the forefront. The activists disrupted the transport and communication as well as the government machinery. Bhai Kotwal's Azad Dasta in Gatraj Taluka of modern-day Raigad district, General Awari's Lal Sena in Nagpur, such groups made the government helpless and witless for months. In Mumbai, Vittal Zaveri, Usha Mehta, and her companions established a secret transmission center named Azad Radio. Patriotic songs were sung on it. News of agitations in the country were broadcasted on it. Patriotic speeches were telecasted. This was a great encouragement to the agitators. Establishment of parallel government. At some places in the country, British officers were driven out and the people's government was established. These are called parallel government. Parallel government were formed in districts of Midanpur in Bengal, Belai and Azamgarh in Uttar Pradesh and Purnai in Bihar. In Satara district of Maharashtra in 1942, Kranti Singh Nana Patil brought an end to the British government and established parallel government. At Kundil, under the leadership of Kranti Grani GD, alias Bapu Lad, Tufan Sena was established. Through its medium, collection of taxes, maintenance of law and order, punishment to criminals, such work was done by the parallel government. People started accepting the verdict passed by the People's Court appointed by the parallel government. Let us know the importance of Quit India movement. To fulfill the objectives of gaining independence, lakhs of Indians made unlimited sacrifices. Many sacrificed their lives. The number of people participating in the struggle was so huge that even all the prisons in the whole of the country were not enough to contain them. The patriotic songs composed by Sani Guruji, Rashtra Santa Tukroji Maharaj and others increased the enthusiasm of the agitators. This nationwide movement is also called August Kranti. Indian National Army, Azad Hind Sena. Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose took phenomenal efforts for gaining independence of India. Subhash Chandra Bose was an important leader of Indian National Congress. He graced the position of President of Congress twice. As per his opinion, while England was engaged in Second World War, the Indians should take advantage of it and make the movement more intense. If necessary, India should seek the help of enemies of England, but there aroused difference of opinion between him and other senior leaders of Congress. As a result, Subhas Chandra Bose resigned from the position of president. To place his views in front of the people, he founded a party known as Forward Bloc. Through his speeches, Netaji appealed to the Indians to revolt against the British rule. Due to it, the government imprisoned him. Subhas Chandra Bose went on fast unto death in the prison, due to which the British government interned him in his residence. From there, he escaped in disguise. In April 1941, he reached Germany. There, he founded the Free India Center. From the Berlin radio station in Germany, he appealed to the Indian people to join in an armed struggle. During this period, Rash Bihari Bose invited Subhas Chandra Bose to Japan. Formation of the Indian National Army. Rash Bihari Bose was staying in Japan since 1915. He had organized the Indian patriots living in countries of Southeast Asia and established the organization named Indian Independence League. In the early part of 1942, Japan conquered the territories in Southeast Asia which were controlled by the British. Thousands of Indian soldiers and officers in British Army there fell into the hands of Japan. Rash Bihari Bose, with the help of Captain Mohan Singh, formed a battalion of these Indian prisoners of war. It was named as Indian National Army, that is Azad Hind Sena. Later, Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose led the Indian National Army. In October 1943, Netaji established Azad Hind government in Singapore. Netaji appealed to the Indian people, "You give me blood and I will give you independence." Achievements of Indian National Army. In November 1943, Japan conquered Andaman and Nicobar Islands and handed them over to Azad Hind government. Netaji renamed them as Shaheed and Swarajya respectively. In 1944, Indian National Army captured the Arakan province in Myanmar. Posts on the eastern border of Assam were captured. In the same period of campaign of Imphal remained incomplete because Japan stopped helping the Indian National Army. But in adverse circumstances, soldiers of Indian National Army were dedicatedly fighting. But in the same period, Japan accepted defeat. On 18th August 1945, Subhas Chandra Bose died in a plane accident. On this background, the soldiers of Indian National Army had to lay down their arms. Thus ended the thrilling phase of the Indian National Army. Revolts of Indian Navy and Air Force. The Navy and Air Force soldiers, with the inspiration from Indian National Army, caused discontent against the British government. burst out on the British warship Talwar in Mumbai on 18 February 1946. The soldiers unfurled the tricolor flag on the British warship. They raised slogans against the British. Finally, with the mediation of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the naval soldiers laid down their arms. Through the Quit India movement, the severe discontent of Indian people against the British was expressed. Army, Navy and Air Force was the backbone of British power. They were also now opposing the British. Due to these incidents, the British rulers realized that they will not be able to empower India for a long period of time. Students, now let us move on to the exercise. The first question, write it as fill in the blanks. Write in your classworks. Question 3, complete the following table. This also you have to write in the classwork. Forward block, write Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. Indian Independence League, Rash Bihari Bose. Tufan Sena, Krantigrani GD, Bapu Lad. Question 4. Answer the following questions in brief. First one, how do you find the contribution of Shirish Kumar to be inspirational? You can read page 41, do you know? And then you can write your own views for this answer. Next question is, why did the British Prime Minister send Sir Stafford Cripps to India? This answer is on page number 40. Write the answer in points. What kind of reaction was seen during the spread of news of arrest of main leaders of the Indian National Congress? This answer you will find on page number 41, beginning of People's Movement paragraph. Students, for today we shall stop now. Monday onwards, your unit tests are going to start. So prepare well, study well, read the lessons thoroughly, read the entire lesson according to the portions given to you, and attempt your tests honestly. All the best, students. Thank you.